Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. This video, autumn overload. I've got no other way to describe it except autumn overload. If you are into autumn and fall, please stay tuned because I am taking you there. I am taking you to the most autumnal epoxy resin project on the planet. Now I'm going to be using some absolutely stunning glitters that were sent to me by Yvonne over at Resin Supplies Den. I'm going to list Resin Supplies Den down below. They've got a Facebook page where there are literally hundreds of suppliers for various things. Yvonne is the glitter supplier, and look at these. Can we take a moment? Look at these leaves. They are crazy autumn. Now the leaves on the right hand side, you would have seen in a previous project. I actually was going to use them, but as the project kind of progressed, I ended up not using them at all. So they were in the initial shot, but we do not use those in today's project. I have got my round silicone coaster mold from Molds and Shapes. This is my go-to coaster mold, and I've got it down on my leveling board. I'm using a different resin today, which is exciting. I am using the Craft Resin for coasters. Now, if you've been with me years, you'll know that I used to work for Craft Resin. I worked for them for a couple of years, and it's so fab to have the resin back and playing with it again. This is also measurable by volume 1:1, which is really great. I've actually never used this many resins that I can just measure out in a cup. Saves my weighing scales. I'm going to don my PPE. Now these gloves, I did have a question on these. These are nitrile gloves. Now these are what is recommended when you're working with epoxy resin, and I'll be honest, the pink ones are my favorites. I've gone through that many different brands of black nitrile gloves. They leave my hands feeling sticky or sweaty, and these pink ones so far are my absolute fave. They are linked below on my Amazon storefronts if you're interested. Now, because this resin is measurable by volume, I'm going to be using my calibrated cup. So you pour part A, say up to 100, and then when you pour part B, you just have to go up to the 200 line, and that is your 1:1. Now with any resin, it starts off cloudy, but you mix it for 5 minutes until it becomes clear, and I'm going to be using the Black Diamond Pigments again. These were sent to me and they are gorgeous. I did ask for some autumnal colours. I said, obviously send me anything you want, but I'm working on autumn right now. Now this is Raw Creations, linked down below in the description box. I'm not getting paid to use these, but they asked if they could send me a few samples. Now I'm using the olive. The olive, it's called olive. Now it looks greeny brown. Now in the pack, it looks very browny red. So I was intrigued as to why was this called olive? And then as soon as I started mixing it, I was like, wow, that is very, very green. You would have seen me put this in a different color resin in with some green resin a couple of videos back. It didn't really do anything, so I really didn't get to see the powder and see what it does. But yeah, it's got a gorgeous kind of chameleon green tint to it. Now I have to say, it didn't really come out in the resin, but my guess is if you were to dust a mold with this powder, that is where this powder would come to life. That is where this powder would literally be the main character. I think you'd get a gorgeous chameleon green stroke brown from it, but because I've mixed it directly in with my resin, it's definitely predominantly brown when you do it this way. It is still a stunning mica powder. It's giving so much shimmer and so much depth, and within seconds my resin is already traveling to the center of the molds. Now my plan with these coasters is, oh my gosh guys, it doesn't get any more autumn. One thin layer, so I'm only going halfway up the coasters. I'm not filling them up at this point because we're going to be doing a top coat. Then I gave them a generous spray with my isopropyl alcohol, 99%. And then it's time to get autumnal. Then it is time to literally shower these coasters with autumn. Now, how you do this is entirely up to you, but I cannot get enough of these autumn leaves. Are they not the most beautiful? They're not even, it's not glitter, is it? It's not really glitter. What are they called? Sequins? Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Very, very typical autumn colours. They are also quite chameleon. So in there we've got some browns, reds and greens, depending on what way around you're looking at it, what light is hitting them. my plan was to have the leaves at the bottom of the coasters, like in the autumn when all the leaves fall from the trees and they all kind of like come down to the ground. That was my plan in my head. I was like, get all of these leaves at the bottom of the coasters, and honestly, I'm just sitting them on the resin. I've sprinkled them on the resin in the hope that they don't sink. I didn't feel like they would sink, and luckily they didn't, but that was the plan. And then for the rest of the coaster, we're gonna use some Cricut vinyl to cover them up. Now, this vinyl was sent to me by Tech Wrap. You guys, if you've been with me a while, you'll know I am a Tech Wrap affiliate. So the actual code, discount code, and link is in the description box. And this is the Cayenne. Don't come for me. Cayenne orange. It is the most autumnal orange vinyl I have ever seen. Now, if you are new to Tech Wrap, please know something. Tech Wrap vinyl for your Cricut comes with a protective sleeve, unlike any other vinyl I've ever used. So if you do buy Tech Wrap, please know that most vinyls come with a protective sleeve, and you need to peel that whole entire sleeve off before you put it through your Cricut. Otherwise, it just won't cut through it. It will cut through it and then you won't be able to get your vinyl. So even though, you know, I knew that and I did this, I did have problems. I did have some weeding problems. We all know weeding is not my favorite hobby. If I could pay someone to weed for me, I would. This vinyl is really metallic. It's not like the soft plasticky vinyl that we're all used to. This is a really thick metallic vinyl. So for me, weeding this was a bit tricky. So I did have to take my time. Can you imagine me taking my time? I did have to take my time and weed super slowly, but totally worth it because this screams autumn. Look at these colors. Hello, autumn. And you know, because over 50% of my friends here on my channel are in America. You guys literally take up 50% of my viewers and 50% of my YouTube family. So I had to go in and add in the fall just for you guys. Hello fall and hello autumn coasters. I cannot get enough, guys. This color scheme, these glitters, these leaf sequins, Yvonne, I could buy your entire supply. I could buy your entire supply, honestly. Another thing to mention here is when I did these on the Cricut, like hello autumn, hello fall, this is the Baby Darling font. You all know. Listen, when I fall in love with something, I stick to it. And this is the Baby Darling font that I downloaded from Da Font. It's not part of the Cricut system. So it's a downloaded font called Baby Darling, and the gap between the words is quite big. So when you do anything like this, just know that you do have to cut them up separately and put them to the transfer tape separately so that you get them quite close together. And you can see here with the Hello Fall. Oh my gosh, I love them so much. These colours are everything. These coasters, oh God, they just make me wanna like carve a pumpkin. That's how these make me feel. They make me feel like I want to make a hot chocolate, I want to put on a massive cozy jumper and carve a pumpkin. Now, I used Craft Resin for the base, but I am using Just For You Online for the top coat. The crystal clearness of it, I didn't want to play around with a brand new resin, but I am gonna, guys. I'm going to be playing a lot more with the Craft Resin and seeing what that looks like in top coats. But the thing is as well, I already know that this resin from Just For You Online has got a huge, massively high ability to take temperature. I'm pretty sure it's like, it's basically over 100 degrees, which is what you need if you want these to hold a hot cup of tea. You really need it to be well and truly over 100 degrees. If a resin goes up to 100 Fahrenheit, genuinely, I just feel like you need more. And that is another reason why I'm using the Apex to top coat these, because I know after 1 month of sitting there, I'm going to be able to use them for a hot cup of tea. It is 24 hours later and time for demold. My first initial feelings were, wow, such a glossy finish. Now I did have a boo-boo with this particular coaster. I'd left the window open for ventilation, and when I came up after about 2 hours to check on everything, oh, there was a piece of paper sitting in my coaster, guys. I had to peel it out. Luckily, the brown resin was just going sticky, but still, you know, I was able to get the paper out. I tried to heat it with a heat gun for it to kind of go back down, but it definitely left a mark. And I can now see that green shimmer. So this is the powder that was called Olive, and I can definitely see that in the background of the powder. It's coming through, which really works as well with the autumn stroke fall. The gloss on these. Can we talk about the glossy, clear finish on these? Unbelievable. And the chameleon qualities to those leaf sequins is next level. It looks like a disco party. It looks like flashing lights in your coaster. It was at this point I realized they're quite transparent, so that mica powder is not necessarily deeply opaque mica powder, because there's definitely a transparency to these coasters, which is absolutely fine. But stunning. I am totally in love with the color scheme here. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think of the giant font in there. I feel like when you've got a big kind of expansive space, filling it with this gorgeous chunky font and vinyl always works so well. The sequins though, obsessed. Like obsessed. This has inspired the next video because I just knew I needed to use them again with maybe a different color background, but we shall see. We shall see. I love it. I love them. I love the glitters. Thank you so much to Yvonne. Again, the vinyl, everything's going to be linked below. Resin Supplies Den Facebook page has got everything you could possibly ever need for resin projects. So again, these are from Yvonne. I will link Resin Supplies Den down below. I cannot get enough of these. Like, I cannot get enough of these. I want to do an entire tray. I want to do a lot of things that never end up happening. But you know, it's in my head. I'm in love with them. I hope you've loved this as much as me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.